couple things. George Bush, too, the son, he is the one that got Guantanamo going after 9/11 under this Patriot Act stuff, and really ramped it up. But did you remember, very few people do, that towards the end of his presidency, before he handed the reins over to Obama, he wanted to shut it down and was talking against Guantanamo, and we got to shut it down, and talking to all of his buddies, we got to put an end to this. And Cheney wanted to shut down Guantanamo, yet it didn't get shut down. Obama issued an executive order, which you're now referring to, and he couldn't shut it down. And I've been saying all along, even before Trump became president in 2017, that if any of these people were actually in control, fully in control, which is a nuance that you got to add in there, that they would have shut it down a long time ago, because they know that it's open for them, and it's actually been expanded, improved. You've got a hospital that was built there, cost $100 million, and it's set up to handle geriatric patients. So, and they spent another $100 million getting it outfitted. So these people haven't been able to stop any of that. And I've taunted back as when Pelosi was in office, prove to us that you're in control. Biden, prove to us that you're in control by just shutting down Guantanamo. You got all those, you got red-blooded American guys that have seen all the monster truck movies and TV shows and competitions that would just love to take all of that equipment down there, the construction equipment, some of the off-road vehicles, and start running things down, mowing them over, knocking them over. They'd have a great time. It'd be all gone in a day. And they haven't had one thing get broken, shut down, moved, twisted. In fact, it's just continued to be expanded the whole time. You've got a area to the side of Guantanamo where concrete piering has been poured and put in place and secured, and you can take all of the FEMA barges. There's about a half a dozen of them that we'd want to send down there, and we have extra space even for a couple more. They've created piering where they'll sink them in place and park. They can handle a Cat 5 hurricane and hold tens of thousands of prisoners, not just on the facility, but in those piers right next to it. And then you've got a Marine aircraft carrier that's set up and operated out of there, which can handle the Ospreys. And the Ospreys are in range up to South Carolina to come back and forth, no refueling in the air, one jump, and land right there besides the regular airport. We've built that facility out for a reason. And there are other similar facilities. Most people know GITMO because it's been referred to for quite a while, but there's actually about a dozen primary facilities that can operate in the same way. And in fact, we know that there's within the intelligence community, and I've talked about this a bit since last September, to the present. I had somebody that is personally known to me who I spoke with a spouse because I hadn't heard from this person for a couple of months, and we normally talk regularly, and I actually went out of my way to go drop in on him in West Virginia and make sure everything was good to go, and talked with the spouse. He said, no, she's on the tribunal. And I said, where? He said, well, of course, I can't tell you that. And I clicked in my mind, and went, oh, okay. So, but she came out of the intelligence community. Now I know of three more persons in the intelligence community that are sitting on tribunals. They've come out of retirement, but they have subject matter expertise and clearances that they're probably sitting on tribunals that are aimed at officers or contractors that have certain types of access or materials that were in their history that being tried. Now, what'll happen? They'll probably have convictions on a number of those, and then those people will get a chance they haven't been sentenced necessarily, and they'll get a chance to then testify in other tribunals or settings, and that may have some effect on their what they end up getting for total time, and or other stuff. Maybe it's life instead of death. But those are real. They're not the stuff that you're ever going to hear about in the public press because they're within a different category. The arrests that are coming will transition into some of the business relations, people that have done traitorous stuff from a, maybe outside the country, or business people, etc., and then moving towards the insiders, military, and public office. And that transition, it's getting all of the data in a situation where it can be used and progress the overall story. And just so that people know, when we get to the public officials, those tribunals will be public. And the reason they have to be public is because you will not cure the disease. You won't. Part of the fix is to actually know what they did in these public positions to betray the American people and the world with what they've done, and to put us in this hair-raising moment. So I hope that was concise, but long enough to give people kind of a feel.